Can Charles give an overview of the history of the English devotion to Our Lady of Walsingham? Can a Roman Catholic wear her blue scapular, which is the practice of High Church Anglicans, in good conscience?
Well, as we know from the Holy Father, any Catholic can do anything in good conscience. No, don't say that.
Ooh.
That's not nice. No, who are we to judge anyway?
That's true.
But can we not do this? Can we leave him alone? What has he done to me personally that he should be getting this kind of disrespect?
Nothing.
See? Anyway, all right. Well, Our Lady of Walsingham, back in I think the 1000s, a lady in East Anglia, in what's now Norfolk in England, received a vision of Our Lady, who dictated to her the limits of the house in Nazareth that she had lived in and where the Annunciation occurred. She dictated these, and the lady in question, I believe her husband was off on the crusade. I'm a little wee on the details, but she went ahead and built an imitation of the Holy House of Jerusalem in that town of Walsingham, and it swiftly became the biggest Marian shrine in England, and was so for several hundred years. And there were a lot of Marian shrines in England. We say Mary England today. It was originally Mary's England, also called Our Lady's Dowry, because there were so many shrines to Our Lady over the countryside. Well, at any rate, Our Lady of Walsingham was popular all the way until it was destroyed by Henry VIII, who himself had been a number of kings of England had gone there, and so had he. And there's a heart-wrenching poem called The Lament for Walsingham about the ruin of the place. And it ends, hell is where Our Lady sat. Heaven is turned to hell. Something, something, something. Walsingham, oh farewell. And it was a terrible thing. Well, fade in, fade out. You have the Oxford movement of the 19th century, and in the late 19th century, early 20th century, both the rebounding English Catholic Church and the Anglo-Catholic movement took another look at Walsingham. And in the case of the Catholics, well, there was an Anglican lady who had been a close collaborator, or collaboratrix, if you want to speak real English, with the Father Hope Patton, who revived the Anglican shrine at Walsingham. And Father Hope Patton was very pro-Roman. He was not just Anglo-Catholic, but what they call papalist, which is to say, he saw the ultimate end of the Anglo-Catholic movement as being reuniting the Church of England with Rome under the Pope. So he ran around, with the help of this lady whose name escapes me, and her money to some degree, ran around getting donations to rebuild the shrine at Walsingham in a somewhat different location. He did. He succeeded. He put up the coat of arms of the then Pope, and the coat of arms of the Bishop of Norwich, the Anglican bishop, which is what one does when building something new. But the Bishop of Norwich was horrified that he should do this, absolutely horrified. So he ordered him, he said, take the coat of arms down. He meant the papal coat of arms. But Father Hope Patton took down the Bishop of Norwich's coat of arms.
Why did the bishop want the papal coat of arms?
Well, he was an Anglican bishop.
Okay.
He didn't want the two up there together. So Father Hope Patton said, okay. He took it down. And the other story told about him is that he went to Queen Mary, the wife of George V, for a financial contribution. Now this is a story, may or may not be true. Queen Mary was supposed to be fairly Anglo-Catholic in her churchmanship, as they say. But he tells the whole story of the medieval shrine of Our Lady of Walsingham and so on and so forth, how they're trying to revive it and all this. So she signs him a check, hands it over, and then says, no, Father, do please tell me once more about Dear Lady of Walsingham. I do believe I know the family.
Wow.
So, I don't know if that's true, but I've heard the story, and I hope it is. But at any rate, it soon became the great shrine for Anglo-Catholic, and particularly Anglo-Catholic papalist, adherents of Walsingham. Well, fade in, fade out. As I say, the English Catholics, Roman Catholics, were growing in strength in England. This lady who had been Father Hope Patton's right-hand lady became Catholic, and she used her money to buy what was called the Slipper Chapel. Now, it was called this because it's 5 miles from the center, or not 5 miles, a mile, I guess. However long it is, I forget. But it's X number of miles from the shrine, the old shrine that had been destroyed. It was called the Slipper Chapel because people making the pilgrimage in would take their shoes off and walk the last bit of the way barefoot.
Okay.
So it's hard to realize how deeply pious the Catholic English were. Anyway, this lady bought that, which had been turned into a barn, and remade it as the Catholic shrine at Walsingham. So now you've got the Catholic and the Anglican shrines, which actually work fairly closely. And in recent years, the original ruins have been opened up to the public, which they hadn't been for a very long time. So that is the story of the devotion to Our Lady of Walsingham. And it's actually connected in a way to the Holy House of Loretto. Because, of course, the building whose dimensions the Holy House of Walsingham were taken from was...
Yeah.
Right. But at that time, the Holy House of Loretto was still at Nazareth.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I thought the angels had transported to France by then.
No, Italy.
Interesting. Oh, Italy, excuse me.
Italy. No, they hadn't moved yet.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's interesting that there's that.
That's my favorite miracle, by the way.
Loretto?
Loretto. I mean,
just because it's so obnoxious.
it's so unbelievable.
Yeah, and obnoxious.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it does this to the modern world.
Absolutely. Like, how do you explain that? Okay, the house was in Nazareth, and now it's there. Now it's in Italy.
And worse, it's in Nazareth, then it's in Croatia. Then it's in Italy a few miles away, and then it's in here. And the dimensions of the thing, it fits the grotto at Nazareth perfectly.
Yeah,
But again, it's just God's way of saying, "You're all so smart, aren't you?" Yes, morons. God would never talk that way.
No, he wouldn't.
No, but I'm not God. Anyway. No, so that became the center of Anglo-Catholic Marian devotion. Now, in this country, there are several shrines to Our Lady of Walsingham that are Roman Catholic.
Oh.
The oldest, I think, is probably in Williamsburg, Virginia, the Church of St. Bede. It goes back to the 1950s. The second is next to the Cathedral of Our Lady of Walsingham in Houston, which is the Cathedral for the Anglican Ordinariate in the United States and Canada. And next to it is a reproduction of the shrine in Walsingham. And interestingly enough, I was just in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, and I went to the church that the Ordinariate parish uses, the Church of St. Bede, but it's actually at the Holy Family Church, Church of the Holy Family, in Minneapolis. Well, interestingly enough, that church as it is today was built in the 60s by a Father Wilkins. I don't know anything about him, but the name is English, so I'm guessing he was a convert. At any rate, it's an English Gothic style, and is exactly the kind of church I would imagine an Ordinariate parish would build if as and when they had the money.
Mm.
But they have a statue of Our Lady of Walsingham that Father Wilkins put in. So, Our Lady of Walsingham is very much a devotion for English-speaking Catholics. Full stop. And because its origins were certainly under the Holy See, under Catholic England, and because the founder or the refounder of the Anglican devotion was also a devotee of the Holy See. I can't see anything in the devotion that a Catholic would call objectionable. Now, as far as the scapular goes, there is a Catholic blue scapular of the Holy See, under the Holy See, the Theatine scapular, which, if I can find it without doing damage to modesty, I wear the fivefold scapular, so it's hiding in here somewhere. But
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to try to find it.
That's okay.
No, I'm not going to find
Yeah.
it. I tried to, but yeah. Anyway, but the blue scapular of the Immaculate Conception belongs to the Theatine order, as they're called. It looks very much like the Anglican scapular. Now, can we wear it? The answer is sure. One by one, you see this with the Society of Mary, the Society of King Charles the Martyr, various of the Anglican devotional societies are becoming they're getting ordinariate members and other Catholic members, because ultimately, I believe, that's where their future lies. And the idea that Catholics should use a devotion whose object is good in itself as part of Catholic devotion is on a par, in my way of thinking, with Catholicizing anything else. In other words, Christmas trees, which of course originally we used to honor Thor, or the Druids' mistletoe. This is called looting the camp of the Assyrians and taking their goodies.
Okay.
I cannot think of anything better than taking a devotion whose object is in itself good and making it Catholic.
Okay.
So there's my answer.